Number 10. Ebola. The Simpsons family predicted the March 2014 Ebola outbreak that has now gone down as the largest outbreak of Ebola in the history of West Africa. Well, in a 1997 episode of The Simpsons, Marge holds up a book for her audience, hinting at the outbreak entitled Curious George and the Ebola virus. Also at the same time, Bart, her son, frantically points to a picture representing him in bed and dying from Ebola. Who would have believed The Simpsons would have predicted the biggest Ebola outbreak to hit mankind? Number 9. 9/11. Okay, we all remember 9/11, September 11th, 2001, when Islamic extremist groups associated with Al-Qaeda allegedly hijacked 4 airliners and carried out suicide attacks in the United States. 2 of the planes were flown into the towers of the World Trade Center in New York City. A 3rd plane hit the Pentagon just outside Washington, D.C., and the 4th plane crashed in a field in Pennsylvania. Well, in an episode of The Simpsons entitled New York City Against Homer, The Simpsons might have known about this tragic event before it was going to happen. Lisa, Bart's sister, can be seen reading a magazine in the episode, showing a bold number 9, alongside 2 buildings symbolizing the number 11, right on the front page. Number 8. Stealing grease. Grease is used in a variety of industries, mainly the food business. In an episode of The Simpsons that was aired in 1998, entitled Lard of the Dance, the father and son duo, Homer and Bart, enter the Springfield cafeteria in search of grease to help them in the grease-selling business. Oddly enough, over 10 years later in 2011, there was reports of more than $3,000 worth of used grease being stolen from Bobby Tessler's St. Louis Wings Co. in Rock Hill, Missouri. The reason for this is that the used oil can be converted very easily into yellow grease, a commodity used to make biodiesel. It could just be a coincidence that 13 years beforehand, The Simpsons knew this was going to happen. But then again, we'll never know. Number 7. Batman and Robin. Many of us know who Batman is, but did you know The Simpsons actually predicted a unique part of the script that would later be used in the famous movie Batman and Robin? Well, in an episode titled Last Exit to Springfield, the episode opens with the McBain movie clip where he says, "Ice to meet you." Now, I'm not sure if you noticed this, but this exact same famous line was later on used by Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze character in the 1997 movie Batman and Robin. How did The Simpsons manage to make this prediction? It may not have been a prediction, but instead inspiration. Number 6. The Lemon Tree. This might be far-fetched, but what are the odds that The Simpsons would have predicted someone stealing a lemon tree? Come on now, who would do such a thing? Well, in 1995, during an episode of The Simpsons titled Lemons of Troy, kids from Shelbyville were accused of stealing a prized lemon tree from Springfield that carried great sentimental value for the long-standing community. However, it wasn't long after that in 2013 when in Houston a bizarre theft in the Oak Forest neighborhood happened, and it left neighbors scratching their heads. Well, yeah, you guessed it, someone stole a lemon tree from that community as well. Number 5. Farmville. If you have a Facebook account, you've probably played, seen, or gotten countless annoying notifications from friends for Farmville before, no doubt. This farming game lets players cultivate their farms by plowing, planting, and even caring for their farm animals like cows and chickens. Well, The Simpsons predicted this game craze in a 1998 episode called Bart Carney, where it showed viewers a game called Yardwork Simulator. This same game could have fueled the Facebook game craze we know today as Farmville, which was the top game by daily active users on Facebook between August 2009 and December 2010. Number 4. Wrecking Ball. Okay, this prediction might be a shocker and a little far-fetched, but The Simpsons never cease to amaze us with their jaw-dropping predictions. In a 1994 episode of The Simpsons, Homer actually predicted and may have inspired the American singer Miley Cyrus's hit entitled Wrecking Ball, which received numerous favorable reviews from music critics and listeners. Amazingly, Homer had predicted this number 1 US Billboard Hot 100 single many years beforehand. It held the number 1 position on the music chart for many weeks. Can you believe the single sold more than 3 million copies in the United States alone? Number 3. GMO food. Approximately 17 years ago, The Simpsons suffered from mutated tomatoes due to a nuclear plant. Interestingly enough, in 2013, Japan found themselves also with the exact same problem from the Fukushima disaster 2 years earlier. When a disaster from Japan's Fukushima nuclear plant found its way into the vegetable food chain, it caused bizarre deformities and lumps in tomatoes. How coincidental, The Simpsons predicted this so many years ahead. What made this even more interesting is that both instances involved tomatoes and many other foods. But then again, don't get me wrong, if you're watching this video, you most likely have eaten GMO foods also. Go ahead, just look up Monsanto. Number 2. Horse meat. In a 1994 episode of The Simpsons, an elementary school cafeteria staff member can be seen searching a metal drum of assorted horse parts, with a label on it saying "more testicles," while she prepares lunch for the kids. Maybe she was in the middle of preparing a broth or a stew, but what is clear is that horse meat was being consumed. Now, all this happened before the UK's Burger King horse meat scandal back in 2013, where Burger King in fact admitted that it is possible that some of its burgers sold at the time were in fact tainted with horse meat. Number 1. Donald Trump. Now, this one is a little creepy if you ask me. Not only did The Simpsons predict Trump would run for president, but from the looks of the building in the episode, it looks very similar to the one Donald Trump was in when he went down the escalator in real life. It was the Trump Tower. Also, it shows the same waving hand motion. During this episode of The Simpsons, there are numerous other similarities also. But wait, there's more. Later on, it shows that the country fell into massive debt following his presidential term. Now, believe me when I say this, I definitely don't want this to become true. The USA's current debt situation is bad enough, they definitely don't need more.